Hi, I'm Maddie, one of the co-founders of Protolyst, and today I'm going to be taking you through a recruitment workflow. And when it comes to inviting someone to join your team, it's really not a decision that is made lightly, and we found that Protolyst has been incredibly useful in helping us to gather and collect together all of the evidence and insights, as well as anything that has stood out to us about a candidate across the various different touch points as they've moved through the recruitment process. On top of that, we've used Protolyst to enable us to compare and contrast different candidates across criteria which are important to us to enable us to make decisions about next steps. So jumping straight in, we've got the recruitment criteria table. And when you're building out a Protolyst workspace, it's good practice to have a table in which you put your topics, themes, categories, criteria around which you're going to be collecting atoms against. So for this, we've set it up for the initial stages of recruitment where we've got CVs and cover letters and that kind of information shared. And we've suggested that these are the categories that we care about getting a little bit of a sense of the candidate around. And these are red flags, mindset, problem solving, and relevant experience. In the applicants table, we have a list of all the candidates, as well as all of the documents that they have shared and the application stage. And the workflow here is you can open up these documents into view. I like to expand it into full screen and then do split screen so that I can have my recruitment criteria as a list on the side that I can refer to as I'm working through the documents. And as I'm reading, anything that they've written here that I think is interesting against these criteria, I can very easily capture and add in to this workflow. So this here is relevant experience. And it's tagged against that and added to a list here. And then I can navigate back to that table. I will close split screen view. And we've got a list of all the atoms and evidence that we have captured across all these different documents for each of the candidates. Now in this list view, that isn't really very helpful to me. So displaying this information in a different way, I'm just going to close this properties bar here so we can see more of the table. Here I've got the recruitment criteria across the top. And so any atoms that relate to Abby David and relevant experience that I have captured in that previous workflow that I showed will show here. So I can very quickly see these three candidates, how they compare against each other. And this is really useful if I'm bringing in different members of the team to help with making a decision. Don't want them to have to go through all these different documents and come up with their own opinion. I've gathered everything that I think is important for them to know about these candidates to make that decision. And if I want to add the red flags into this, I select atoms and then I filter by red flags, give it an appropriate title here. And then there were no red flags for any of these candidates, so there's nothing to display here. And in this way, I can then make a decision as to what I want to do with each candidate. So Abby David, she's done very well. We're going to send her through to the first interview. And so this is the applicant review page, so it only shows applications that need to be reviewed. If I then navigate to the first interview page, here I have a list of everyone that's made it through to the first interview stage and can coordinate everything to do with that interview here. So that's a bit of a quick insight into how we have built a recruitment workflow. If you'd like any further information, there's some links and details down below.